bike to a cafe. I went to the park and then it was too windy, and now I'm at a cafe and I wish I had more privacy. So now I'm just thinking, could I have just done all of this at home? Could I have literally filmed this at home? I was on my way to a second park, but then I found a fucking thrift store and then I bought a couple books. On brand. Let me show y'all actually. These books are so like on brand of me too. This one is called Everyone's an Author. It's literally so thick. Hello. It's a thick ass book about writing and about being an author. Then I got this one, Oils Still Life. I think it's like teaching you how to oil color or paint with oil colors. I thought it would be cool inspiration and it'd be useful one day. So I'd rather have a book and never read it than not have it. Because the minute that I do want to read it, I won't have it. Whatever. An unread library is one of the most powerful things you can have, guys. I read that in a book. And then I got these two really short books on democracy and capitalism. Because why not? You can never learn too much democracy or capitalism. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. If you're anything like me and you have really bad abandonment issues, trust issues, attachment issues, you low-key struggle making friends because you feel like there's this, what is it called? An inevitable doom to your relationship coming sooner than later, one way or another. I just finished, well, it took me literally like a day and a half to read this book, but it's called Love is Getting, oh my god, the wind, bitch. It's called Love is Letting Go of Fear. So basically the book is saying that there's only really two emotions, love and fear. Everything we do not out of love is out of fear. There are only two emotions, love or fear, and to see our fear as a call of help for love. Gotcha. Don't litter, guys. I'm at this point in my life right now where I feel like I'm so scared to do things or grow with people. That's my most that's my fear right now, is growing with people or meeting people and actually building a connection with them, because I always feel like in the end they're gonna abandon me. And I think it's just, you know, it's been a common pattern in the past. Am I the problem? So now that I have that fear of abandonment, it really makes it super hard for me to like actually create meaningful relationships with people, because I'm always just worried like, oh, well, you know, in a year or two, you're gonna leave anyway, so what's the point? If you think like that too, then I highly recommend this book. But, you know, 95% of y'all aren't gonna read it, so let me go ahead and just say my favorite quotes. I also literally like audibly said to myself last night, why does it always circle back to my mommy and daddy issues? Every single time, dude. Of course, everybody has mommy and daddy issues. I'm not gonna put myself on this like, you know, I have it worse, I have it the hardest pedestal. But they're definitely there. They're definitely fucking there. And one thing for me was like, I have so much anger and resentment towards them that it's kind of hard to build connections with anybody else, because like these issues that they kind of left with me are always there. And I literally remember just thinking like, how am I ever going to love again? Whoa, too real, too real. So in the very beginning of the book, they say, the core principles are about having a willingness to see the world differently, seeing value in letting go of our control issues, judgments, and grievances, and making forgiveness as important as breathing. Yeah, I really needed to hear that, because it's kind of like the book is telling you that you can change how you perceive everything in the world by changing your mentality, by changing how you see things. You don't have to fall victim of the world. You don't have to say, why did this happen to me? Why did this person hurt me? Why did I go through this? You can instead look at it in a way of, oh, this person was acting out of love or fear. I was acting out of love or fear. I learned X, Y, and Z. Or, you know, you can choose to see things as a learning experience and as a gain rather than a loss or a pain. Okay, this is apparently also the third edition of this book. The first one was produced in 1970 something, I don't know. So I highlighted a bunch of pages from this book that really stuck out to me, or things that meant a lot to me. So I hope they help you too, shit. I began to experience how everyone I met or even thought about was my teacher. That's so interesting, because so true. This made me think a lot about like the notion of everything happens for a reason, because originally I don't think that I was perceiving that the correct way. I was thinking, you know, everything happens on purpose. Everything happens for a reason that's unbeknownst to us in this current moment in time, but eventually it will make sense. But I don't think I agree with that anymore, because I think that life is chaos. I don't think, if that were to be true, if it's true that everything happens on purpose, it would mean that everything in life is already kind of predetermined for us. So we wouldn't truly have a say, because there is a destiny, a fate. To say everything happens on purpose is like kind of saying that our life is just a movie where we press play until we die. But it all already has like a storyline and a function. I don't know if that makes sense, but to kind of believe that is a little scary, because it's like, oh, so our whole lives are predetermined? And it made me change how I look at that phrase to, I think, what it actually is, which is that there is something to learn through every experience. And to say I began to experience how everyone I met or even thought about was my teacher. Everyone that we meet teaches us something. So everything happens for a reason, and sometimes that reason is to learn about something. Sometimes that reason is to learn, oh, I do like that, I don't like that, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, blah, 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 blah. To further elaborate on this a little bit, I think life is made up of chaos and choices. Because I think shit just happens, and then you make a decision based off of the chaos, the shit that just happened, and then you deal with the consequences of your decisions afterwards. Like, yeah. I don't think I believe in like a destiny anymore, where it's like, oh, that happened for a reason, you know? I think it's like, no, that happened, and then I made a choice. I made it, you know, A, B, or C, which unraveled whatever the decision equated to. The consequences of your decisions, good or bad. I also like the part that he said, I learned to listen to an inner voice of love directing what I thought, said, and did. This is so like, listen to your intuition. And that is repeated in an array of like beliefs and religions, but listen to your intuition, because your intuition knows the way, babe. I definitely do that, where I'm so quick to turn to people for their advice, but baby, nobody knows you better than you. Nobody knows what you want better than you. Of course, like, seek advice and people who are wiser or who are doing what you want to do. But at the end of the day, babe, if you don't want to do something, or if you do want to do something, it's your fucking life. Take control of it and listen to yourself. Like, trust yourself. Trust yourself. When we get caught in the ego's thought system, our beliefs are created from the fear that the past is going to predict the future, and the future is going to be just like the past. Oh my God. So fucking real. So real. I mean, how could it not be something that we do? Because obviously, like, life is trial and error, and you go through things and then you realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that because that's what da-da-da-da. But it's so true to assume that because, some guy cheated on you in the past, every other man is going to cheat on you is just not correct. But because of that fear of being cheated on and being hurt, we let our past dictate our future into not fully loving again. Not acting out of love, but acting out of fear. Noticing a pattern here? Another thing that I was really struggling with, and this is the introduction, so we're kind of like going in a bunch of different directions right now. But one thing that I struggled with was like that anger, holding on to that anger of how people wronged me, or my parents, or ex-friends, or ex-best friends, or ex-boyfriends, or girlfriends, or whatever the fuck. It's like letting go of that anger and being like, you fucking did this, so fuck you, you're an asshole, blah, 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 blah. Our egos motivate us to believe that we will feel more peaceful and happy if we find someone to blame and direct our anger at that person. And when our justified anger does not seem to be enough, we add onto the list our anger at the world, God, and finally ourselves. The trouble is, we soon discover that it is just about impossible to experience peace of mind and justified anger at the same time. Goddamn. So like, picking this book up, I knew that it was going to apply to my previous relationships and my probably future relationships, but not that I couldn't see how it was going to connect back to my parents, but I didn't want to accept that I was going to connect back to my parents. But I think when you really boil down everything in life to the two emotions of love and fear, and you perceive that from the perspective of the person that hurt you, you realize they were either acting out of love or fear. One huge thing for me, revelation. If to not act out of fear is love, then that means that acts of love are bravery. Meaning you have to be brave to execute an act of love. And if we were to love and get hurt and love again, that requires strength and bravery. And I think, if anything, that's motivating for me to think, oh, well, that's what I want to be. I want to be brave and I want to be strong. So I got to keep loving. I can't let fear hold me back from experiencing or expressing love. There's a fucking, I think that's a, oh, it's a spider. Oh, it's so cute. There's a cute little spider beneath me. There are others I have known who have faced their human feelings without getting stuck in them and have forgiven the world and themselves. They spend their lives in a giving and helping attitude, believing that when one door closes, another door will open. They are on the lookout for ways they can help others even during bad times, and they are not afraid to reposition themselves. They remind themselves with gratitude that the love they have and give to others is the greatest treasure they could have, and it's a treasure that no one can ever take away from them. I have a note like in that chapter that says, love is not a finite material that we have to ration. It's the greatest thing we can give people, and it's something no one could ever take from us. I mean, the more that we give, the more we receive. And it's one of those things that no one could ever steal from you. No one could ever deplete from you. You will always have more love to give because we are love. I mean, when you think of it that way, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? That's so beautiful. The only thing that would stop us from expressing our love is fear. The lessons in this book are based on the belief that only our own thoughts and attitudes create our reality, and that it is only our own thoughts and attitudes that can hurt us or heal us. I feel like that's such a good quote to gain control of your life and gain control of your mental attitude towards life. When you rephrase it in a way where it's only your own thoughts and attitudes that can hurt you or heal you, then it's all in your control. You are no longer a victim of the world when you change how you see things. You don't have to be a victim saying, oh my God, this happened to me and this person did that and this person hurt me or whatever. It's just like, you get to choose how you look at it. Now, this is especially true for me because I am, especially after my ex relationship, I am terrified to love again. Absolutely terrified, bitch. Terrified to get attached, terrified to love, like, and it was something that I was really struggling with. So when I read shit like this, I was like, oh wow, yeah, you ate me up with that. Although we want to experience peace, most of us are still seeking something else that we never find. We are still trying to control and predict. The way that I look at that is like when you meet somebody new after, going through a really bad breakup or something, you're trying to control the pain that you might feel if y'all didn't work out, right? So like meeting this person, you're scared because this is me, but I'm scared that I'm gonna get hurt in the end because eventually everyone's gonna leave, right? That's my previous mentality. So I try to predict the eventual or inevitable downfall of our relationship or friendship or whatever we got going on so that I can control how hurt I am. But by doing that, I'm disconnecting us, I'm separating us, I feel alone because I feel unlovable and unloved. And yeah, I stop myself from being loved fully or allowing myself to fully love somebody else because I'm afraid of getting hurt. Your past does not determine your present or your future. And holding on to the past and holding on to the guilt and fear that you may be experiencing from the past is preventing you from fully living in the present. At times, it feels more important for us to predict that we are going to be miserable for the next month than to have true happiness in the present moment. That's literally me. I'd rather predict that someone is gonna hurt me or I'm gonna be heartbroken than just let myself love and be loved in that moment because I'm acting out of fear, not love. Did I drill the point in yet? Can y'all see my bra? I'm being too promiscuous. I hope this fucking footage turns out good, bro. Like, I'm frustrated as hell. He also talks about singleness of goal, which is basically like, if we make our single goal in life to be peace of mind, which is like happiness and just peace, then the only way that we can do that is by forgiving people. And why, right? Because some people are fucking evil and assholes and dicks and whatever. Because if we only perceive the love from that situation, it's something that we can learn from. And if we can forgive everything else that a person did that might have hurt you rather than looking at it as like, oh, you're such an evil person for doing that, fuck you, you're an asshole. Oh, you were acting out of fear. Fear of getting hurt, fear of being betrayed, fear of whatever. If we can forgive that and understand that, they were acting out of fear, then we can have peace of mind and move on and not be hurt. He also talks about how, the answer to seeking happiness, I guess, is not by just trying to get and take from other people, but to help other people. It's funny, I've read so many like self-help philosophy books and like religious books, like the Bible and shit. They all kind of say the same thing. Forgive and treat people with kindness. Forgiveness is a vehicle used for correcting our misperceptions and for helping us let go of fear.
Simply stated, to forgive is to let go. When we have peace of mind as a single goal, we can then take the second step, forgiveness, and choose to see others as extending love or being fearful and calling for help in the form of love. I think that's interesting because when they say love or fear, right, and people hurt you because they're acting out of fear, he phrases it as that's a cry for help for love.
The mind functions as if it were split. Part of it acts as if it were directed by our egos and part of it by love. Most of the time, our mind pays attention to this pushy pseudo-director that we call the ego, which is simply another name for fear. That is so true. I think this is really reframing how I live life because I always kind of see a lot of my cautionary actions to be intended to protect myself. And yes, suffering is a part of life, but trying to prevent it from happening by stopping myself from experiencing love is not going to stop myself from suffering. It's not going to stop myself from experiencing pain or betrayal or hurt or whatever. That is always going to happen inevitably. So preventing yourself from experiencing the true love in that moment is stopping you from living in the present moment because you're so consumed of the guilt and fear and pain from the past. Themes to live by, and I'm just going to quote the ones that I really like. Number 3 is through forgiveness, we can learn to not judge others and to see everyone, including ourselves, as guiltless. I didn't think I was going to struggle with the guilt part, but I do, especially when I think about my most recent relationship. I hold fear and guilt kind of in the same level. Like, damn, I'm really mad at you for doing all the things that you did, but I did do a lot of that shit too, so I do feel guilty about that. But I'm scared of getting hurt, but I'm scared of hurting someone else, and it's just like, it's all out of fear. Clearly, now that we understand that, the distinction between love and fear. This book is so much about reframing your own mindset and mentality to control how you live life, how you want to go about life, and how you experience things, because you don't have to experience life as if things are just happening to you and you're the victim of everything. No. I can reframe my mindset to thinking that everything that happens around me is either serving me or removing the things that don't serve me. And that's that. It also goes into detail about how attacking people and people attacking you stems from fear and guilt. No one attacks unless he feels threatened and believes that through attack he can demonstrate his own strength at the expense of another's vulnerability. Attacking and defending do not bring us inner peace. Everybody wants inner peace at the end of the day, baby. It's just being peaceful. It's just being happy, chill, okay? You just chillin'. Everybody wants that, so. In order to experience peace instead of conflict, it is necessary to shift our perception. Instead of seeing others as attacking us, we can see them as fearful. Fear is really a call for help and therefore a request for love. The last lesson, I think this is the last lesson, is it? No, it's not. Okay, well, lesson 8. One way of letting go of our archaeological garbage is to recognize that holding on to it does not bring us what we want. This instant is the only time there is can become an eternity. The future becomes an extension of a peaceful present that never ceases. My preoccupation with the past and its projection into the future defeats any aim of present peace. The past is over and the future is yet to be. Peace cannot be found in the past or future, but only in this instant. I think what I decided for myself, and this is just me right now, but I could completely change my mind in the next 30 minutes, I don't know, is wasted time is either doing nothing or learning the same lesson again. Like, baby, we already learned this lesson. You're not gaining any new information or wisdom. Is that not wasted time? I don't know. Am I bugging? Someone let me know. Those are my thoughts on this book. This book is so fucking good. Everybody should read it because I think it really changes your mental framework. Love is letting go of fear. I also have the real world, delaying the real world, and on love. So this is literally like on love. Love is letting go of fear. Baby. Noticing a pattern here. Can you all tell I'm really scared of love? I'm scared of being in love, babe. I'm so scared of falling in love. I'm so scared of like being truly loved again. Cause that's scary because love can fucking hurt. Okay? Heartbreak can fucking hurt and it sucks. And I'm not trying to experience that again. But anyway, that's why we have to confront our fears. Full circle moment. You see what I did there? And that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you guys want more book review content because I'm a reader, babe. And I got a whole list right there. Not to mention my bag. Okay, those are books right there, honey. And I got 2 more on capitalism and democracy, so don't get me fucking started. Okay, see you guys later. Love you. Bye.